guys, this is Ackleyattack4427 here with a brand new thoughts video for all of you guys, and, well, looks like we're finally in the month of February right now. Boy, it's hard to believe that 1 month for this year has already gone by for sure, so, okay. Yeah, I guess it makes sense, from what I gather. So yeah, looks like we're now in February as we speak, and yep, I guess you know what that means. It's time to actually pretty much gang for a whole 29 days this month. And I did say 29 for sure because it is 2024 is a leap year, just to be sure. So. But yeah, I guess nevertheless, looks like a brand new month is officially here, which means a brand new opportunity for, of course, a few new batch of movies that I'm willing to see. So yeah, like I said, it looks like for last month, this month is probably gonna give us not much from what I can gather for sure, But hey, as long as it'll actually give us something interesting for sure, I'm actually in for entirely, so. And yeah, I guess it is, of course, pretty much what I got with, of course, today's movie that I'm officially talking about here today, so. So yeah, I guess I've already been through, of course, pretty much a long-awaited theatrical release of a Pixar film, alongside a adaptation of a musical based on one of the greatest comedies of the 2000s, plus a Jason Statham action movie that really got me pumped up for sure. I think, I guess for what it is, I think it's about time that I go for something a little bit more, creative and inventive from what I can gather for sure, just a little something that actually piques my curiosity for sure, because yeah, I think it actually kind of thought I would actually go for that. So yeah, most of the majority of my thoughts videos that I would do are, of course, the ones that had pretty much a good batch of movies that had that really got me excited and for me to talk about. But every once in a while, I do have to pretty much give special light to the ones that actually do pique my curiosity, give me something creative and inventive for sure. Yeah, I think normally the normal ones would actually do the job fine, but it's usually the special ones from what I could gather that really does see, of course, which ones that I think would be a good fit for sure, so. And, well, I guess for this case right now, I think it is certainly the case for, of course, this movie that I'm talking about here today, so. So, yeah. What better way to, of course, kick off what I'm going to be talking about next, and, of course, this latest thoughts video? Well, let's see, yeah, I think we did manage to have one of Pixar's animated films finally get a theatrical release, and then I followed that up with, of course, a film adaptation of a musical, and I followed that up with, of course, an action flick. How about we now transition over to a spy flick? Yeah. I guess you can see where I'm going at for sure, so. But yeah, I think it's pretty much what I figure I would do today, so. But hey, if you are quite curious to know, and, well, if you haven't actually read the title for sure, I think with, of course, give it to what I'm saying, I think, yeah, I think it's what I'm going to be, I think it kind of makes sense to the movie I'm talking about here today, and, well, I guess since after seeing the Broadway musical Hairspray up in Syracuse, I definitely need a little something to really ease things down a bit for sure, so. So yeah, I guess with that being said, I think we might as well go ahead and talk about the latest movie that I finally got the chance to go see very recently, and this, of course, what I'm going to be talking about here today, which is none other than Argylle. So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to be talking about here today. Argylle is, of course, the latest film that that just came out not too long ago, and, well, I was lucky enough to actually go see this film very recently for sure, so yeah. That's pretty much what I can say on, of course, that front. Alright. Alright, so before I could go right ahead and talk about this latest movie, let me get something out real quick for sure, and I'll be honest, from of course what I've actually seen, I think I was, yeah, I think it did somehow pique my curiosity, and, but I know beforehand that I actually didn't know what to make of it when I first saw the trailers for, of course, this movie for sure. In fact, if anything, I guess I didn't know what to expect when I actually first saw the trailer for, of course, this film for sure. But based on, of course, what I've actually seen by far, I think it's pretty much from what I could gather, I think it wanted to do something a little bit more creative and inventive for sure, while throwing in a little bit of twists and turns to really try to make it all the more entertaining to watch for sure, and that actually did pique my curiosity for sure, of course, whether or not I would actually see it for sure, and but I do know that pretty much from what I can gather for sure, based on my research on, of course, this movie, it is actually done by the same people behind the Kingsman movies for sure, and, well, I guess for disclosure, no, I never saw any of the Kingsman movies for sure around the time they came out entirely, but I'm willing to bet that there might be some people that actually do like those movies for sure. If you do like them, yeah, that's totally fine. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can like those for what they are, but to me, I never saw them around the time they came out, so I don't know what to make of it for sure, so. But yeah, I think that's probably from what I can gather when I first saw the trailers for, of course, Argylle entirely. I actually don't know what to make of it based on what I've actually seen, but it wouldn't be until sometime later that I actually got quite curious about this one, and of course, based on, of course, some word of mouth from, of course, a few of my friends that I know of, they have actually been telling me the same thing. Yeah, you definitely gotta see this movie around the time it came out. I think you're gonna be in for something really incredible for sure, and luckily enough, I did manage to give it some thought, and I actually thought to myself, you know what? Maybe I should go see this one and see how it'll do for sure, so. And you know what? That's exactly what I did. I guess since after pretty much around the time I'm recording this is, of course, right around after I saw the musical Hairspray up in Syracuse, and don't worry, I'll get right on to talking about that in a future video later on, so you'll just have to wait and see, so. But nevertheless, I did manage to get myself in to officially see this movie for sure, all thanks to the kind people at Crown City Cinemas, as always. Still love you guys for sure, and even had a little run-in with, of course, someone that I know for sure, who was also seeing the movie around the same time as I do for sure, so yeah, that was actually quite nice, so. But, of course, I will admit, I was a little cautious going into it for sure, because based on the reviews I've actually seen from the critics, they've actually really tore it apart. He actually was massively hated by the critics as we speak, giving off, well, people, just those people saying that this movie is bad for sure, which I guess it's totally understandable because, again, I don't know what to make of it around the time I saw the trailer, but I still want to give it a fair shot for sure, so. But yeah, nevertheless, I did manage to go in and, of course, see this movie for sure. And, well, now that I actually got out of seeing it, what do I think of this movie now that I finally got the chance to see it? Well, I am going to admit one thing for sure. I did say earlier that a lot of critics absolutely hated this flick for what it is, but to me, well, as someone who is, of course, a film critic myself in these videos for sure, I'm actually going to be honest with you. I actually don't mind this flick. Yeah, I'm completely serious. Yeah, I thought this movie was decent. I mean, it's not great, not awful. I just think it's decent. So yeah, that's actually the best way I can describe this movie for sure. I don't think it's actually a really great film for what it is, but thankfully it's not terrible at the same time. I actually find myself alright with this flick, and yeah, I actually thought it was okay, so yeah. It's pretty much what I can say on, of course, that front. Alright, I guess I'm done with that. Oh, okay, so yeah, now that I've actually got the short version out of the way, I bet a lot of you guys are quite curious on why I think this film is decent. Well, let's go into notes, shall we? So yeah, you pretty much know the drill in these thoughts videos, so with that being said, let's go into notes. So for starters, I guess it makes sense to start off with, of course, one aspect in this movie for me to talk about, which is, of course, the story. And honestly, from, of course, what I've actually seen for the story for, of course, this movie, I do like some of the ideas that they actually decided to go for with, of course, this one. Yeah, everything from, of course, what I've actually seen. Excuse me, so. But yeah, everything from, of course, what I've actually seen in this film, I really do think, on paper, it actually does have some really nice and unique ideas that they want to throw into, of course, this one to actually make it creative, inventive for sure, and even pretty much, even from, of course, what I've actually seen in this movie, I do like some of the nice approaches that they decided to go for with, of course, this one to actually make its best to make it actually work. And I'll admit, I think a good chunk of it does feel a little a little bit chunky to say the least, and pretty much cluttered up, making it unfocusing everything, and even some parts in it where I pretty much on like every other spy flick, I would actually see some stuff coming from like a mile away for sure, but then again, maybe I think that's what the movie was trying to go for with, of course, this one. It does have some really nice and unique ideas that they want to go for, and does utilize it quite well, but at the same time, it just kind of feels a little disjointed at the same time for sure, So yeah, it's not by all means an awful story that they put together for sure. In fact, if anything, I wish they could have do a little fine-tuning to make it all the more incredible for sure. But I think they did try their best to make it actually work for sure. And yeah, I think that's what I can gather for, of course, the story. And as for the writing, I have to say, I'll admit, I think a good chunk of pretty much the movie's writing, or should I say its screenplay, does have some unique ideas, and even some parts in it are written out quite well, but other times I just kind of felt that had some good chunks of it that I do felt were not really written out quite well, that I could easily follow through and have it be award-winning material. Yeah, I think that's what I can gather for sure. I really do felt that the writing does have some really great ideas that they want to try out for sure. But I do felt it's a little bit cluttered up at the same time for sure. But yeah, not by all means awful in many ways, but could use a little fine-tuning here and there. And even the comedy, I have to say, I think there were a good number of people that did laugh at those jokes. And I'll admit, I think I did feel a little bit of silence for sure. But I'll give the film credit that every once in a while it does try its best to give out a little chuckle out of me. And yeah, again, I actually don't mind it for what it is for sure. It really does do a fine job with what it needs to do with its comedy, but not by much from what I can gather. So yeah, I think that's what I can say for, of course, for pretty much those aspects in a nutshell for sure. Yeah, does have some good ideas from what I can gather, but could have used much better execution from what I've actually seen by far. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say on, of course, that front. Alright. Alright, so yeah, now that I've actually got those out of the way, I think I'll go ahead and talk about the next couple of things in this movie. For starters is, of course, the characters, and I'll be honest, if there's one of a few maybe redeeming qualities, and of course this film, is that for the characters, I wouldn't necessarily say they're bad in any way, nor they're that great. In fact, some of them, I will admit, have actually been given some pretty nice development from what I've actually seen. Yeah, I think it's a little cluttered up development from what I've actually seen, but still rather fine development for sure to try its best to make them likable and interesting for sure. And yeah, it's probably not by much from, of course, what I've actually seen by far, but they are actually fine and suitable characters for what they're trying to do for sure. And yeah, I do think they're actually fine for what they are for sure. So yeah, and of course, for another thing that I should get right on to is, of course, the actors that came on board to play all these characters for sure. And I'll admit, pretty much each and every single one of them they brought on board for this one. I actually don't think they're that bad for sure. In fact, pretty much a good number of them actually give out some pretty decent performances from what I'm actually seeing for sure. It's not great by all means, but I do think they did their best to make the material work for sure, to actually make it suitable and actually make it all the more compelling for sure. But yeah, not terrible in many ways, but still decent enough from what I've actually seen by far. And you can definitely tell that they did try their best to make this material work. And I really do feel that through their performances for sure. So yeah, those are, of course, what I can say for the actors and the characters in their entirety for sure, to which, again, are actually pretty decent in my opinion. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say on, of course, that front. Alright, so yeah, now that I've actually got those two out of the way, what else is there for me to talk about? Actually, quite a whole lot for sure. So yeah, for starters, I think I might as well go ahead and talk about the action in, of course, this movie. And again, if there's one of many redeeming qualities in, of course, this film, I will admit the action in, of course, this movie is actually brilliantly well done for sure. Every single one of them from every single fight scene from, of course, what I've actually seen, they are actually done quite well for sure, and I really do follow through on what goes on for sure. Well, not all of them for sure, because most of them pretty much either probably is a little bit cluttered up because I don't know what's going on through it, or maybe I just felt that some of them are a little bit too boring from what I've actually seen, almost like I almost felt the urge to actually doze off for sure, but again, it's not all bad for sure. I think I really do admire the good amount of action they actually put into this one, and the good majority of them are actually done very well for sure, and yeah, I will give the film credit for exactly hanging what it has to do. It's probably not by much from what I can gather, but I do think the action in this film is actually pretty well done in my opinion for sure. Not by much, but still well done. So, and of course, for another aspect, the visuals and the effects, and of course this film, I'll be honest, I just kind of felt it's a little hit and miss from what I can gather. Some of them do blend in quite well with everything that goes on with the film's surroundings, while other times I just kind of felt they were not rendered out quite well for sure. So yeah, could use a little fine-tuning here and there to make it all the more pretty much all the more realistic and actually fits in well with what goes on. But I do think it's all right from what I can actually gather. So yeah, and of course the direction in this film from the film's director. Yeah, to which again, seeing of how I did mention Kingsman from earlier. That's another thing I should bring up as well. This film is, of course, done by the same guy who has directed Kingsman, and, well, to be fair, I guess if anything, I do think it's fine from what I can gather. In fact, it's probably not the best direction from what I've actually seen from this guy, but I do think it's alright from, of course, what I can gather for sure. Not the best, but still fine. Yeah, again, not the best, but still quite passable for sure. So yeah. And of course, from what I can gather, as another aspect I should get right on to is, of course, the cinematography, and again, I think I can give this film pretty much one thing I do praise the most for sure, and that being, of course, the cinematography in this film is actually quite amazing from what I've actually seen for sure. Yeah, literally every single camera shot from what I've actually seen, I really do think it really does show off, of course, what this film can do for sure, and I really do think this film is shot well from what I can gather for sure, and yeah, and of course, pretty much the A-ing, I have to say, that too, I will admit, is also done pretty good. Well, again, not great, but I do think the A-ing in this film is actually done pretty good, and it's literally cut up just actually pretty well done from what I can gather to really fit in well with, of course, the film's tone and pacing, which I'll admit actually does work well from what I can gather for sure, right? But yeah, I think that's what I could say, of course, all those aspects in a nutshell for sure, so yeah. But I guess all over, it did try its best to do what it needs to do for sure, and yeah, there were some massive slip-ups here and there, but I do think pretty much the film did try its best to overcome them to give me a good enough time for sure, to which I guess is a fair assumption that I can give in its entirety, so yeah, that's pretty much what I can say on, of course, that front. Alright. So yeah, I think that's pretty much everything that I can say for, of course, this movie. So yeah, I guess overall, Argylle, well, I guess from what I've actually seen, I think I know a lot of people saying that I should follow through on the critics and say that I absolutely hate this film, and honestly, no, I shouldn't. In fact, I mean, let's really face it. I always have my fair share on, of course, disagreeing with the critics for sure on a few occasions here and there, and that's totally fine. Even critics don't agree with each other for sure. So yeah, I guess for what is, despite all that, I guess my unpopular opinion actually stands by on what I have to say about Argylle for sure. Yeah, I don't necessarily think this movie is by all means bad or anyways, nor is it even terrible from what I've actually seen. But I don't necessarily think it's actually that great or good or even that interesting for sure. But I do think this film is a really good definition of pretty much a movie that is okay. Yeah, I think that's what I can say of course, this film. It's actually just okay. Yeah, you want to see the characters be okay, you want to see pretty much the actors be okay, you want to see the story be okay, you want to see the action and the suspense be okay. Well, that's what you're gonna get, an okay movie for sure. So yeah, I mean, let's face it, I've seen pretty much plenty of other movies that are either far better or far worse from what I could gather, and that's during my years reviewing movies for sure. But, of course, if anything, despite the massive slip-ups and flaws that this movie is giving us, it does have a sense of creativity and did try its best to work well with the material that's actually been given. So yeah, maybe I think with a much better execution, it could have been something all the more great for sure. But I do think this film did try its best to work around with what it needs to do, and it does result in a pretty fine movie for what it is for sure. So yeah, I think that's probably the best way I can actually describe this movie in general. I don't necessarily think it's great by all means, but thank God it's not terrible. I do think this film is okay for what it is for sure. Which I guess is probably the best way I can actually put it for sure. So yeah, I don't necessarily think this movie is great, but not terrible at the same time. I do think this film is alright for what it is, and there's nothing wrong with that. So yeah, I guess if you are looking for something that'll really get you massively interested for sure, then I guess this film is harmless for what it is for sure. So, but hey, I'm pretty sure you can find something good in, of course, this one, and yeah, and that's probably one thing I should also mention. Pretty much what I thought of this movie is kind of similar to what I actually thought about the Five Nights at Freddy's movie from some time ago. A lot of critics absolutely hated that flick around the time it came out, but somewhere down deep into it, there is a good movie hanging in there that's guaranteed to actually give you a good time. I know I certainly got with that film for sure. So yeah, but I can definitely make the same argument for, of course, Argylle for sure. It does have some massive flaws here and there, and of course major mistakes to making a bad flick to pretty much avoid for sure. But if you really look closely, closely into it, sure, you'll still get the flaws and stuff in it, but I guess there is some really good charm hanging into, of course, this movie that you could make the argument that you could actually dig around for to see for yourself. So, but I guess if anything, despite all that, it still results in a decent flick for sure, which I guess is probably the best way I can actually put it for sure. yeah, I guess for what it is, I don't necessarily think this movie is great, but not bad at the same time. I do think this movie is actually a pretty decent one for sure. I mean, yeah, I guess if anything, there could have been a whole lot more from what I can gather, but I think the film did a fine job with what it needs to do, and it did try its best to overcome some massive problems for sure. So, yeah, to which in the end, I think that's what you get overall. Just a pretty decent enough flick for what it is for sure, and of course, give it to that thought alone. Yeah, I guess I'm pretty much being nice on this one, and yeah, for my final score, I'll give it a decent enough 6 out of 10 as my final score for sure. So yeah, does have some really good potential from what I've actually seen, and yeah, does pretty much does do a really shitty job in execution, but if you learn to overcome it for sure, I think you'll still get a movie that is in fact passable. To which, yeah, I guess that's probably the best way I can actually put it for sure. This movie, pretty much for what it is passable. Not good, not bad, just passable. So yeah. But I guess if you are actually looking into checking this movie out and see if you can find more good in this movie than I do, then by all means, give it a watch. I say it's pretty much a harmless 2 hours of your time that I think you can easily spend while checking this movie out for sure. So yeah, I say definitely give this movie a fair shot. It's definitely worth a couple of hours of your time for sure. So yeah, that's pretty much what I can say on, of course, this film. Alright, so I guess on that thought, that'll pretty much do exactly that. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this latest thoughts video, and I definitely want to ask all of you guys, what do you think of Argylle for sure? Do you absolutely really enjoyed it, or do you absolutely hate it, or are you like me and you thought it was a pretty decent enough flick? So yeah, let me know in the comment section below on what you thought of this movie. I would definitely love to know. So yeah, that's pretty much everything that I can say. Of course, this on that front. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching for sure. And well, I guess we're only gonna be treated to a few movies for, of course, this month, but it's okay, as long as, of course, I'll do my best to give you guys something really great for sure. I think we'll be in good hands for sure. But I definitely know for next time for sure, I guess following up to last month with Soul, I think it's about time that we return over to another Pixar movie, Turning Red, for sure. So yeah, I'm really excited to finally see it on the big screen for sure. So I'll definitely let you guys know once my re-review on Turning Red does come out for sure, to see on what I thought of it this time around compared to the first time that I actually saw it for sure. But until that comes around, thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Big special thanks to all of my supporters on Patreon for making today's video possible. So if you want to be like these people and show your support to us and get some awesome rewards such as getting a special shoutout, credit at the end of the videos, as well as some other awesome rewards within your budget, then go to patreon.com/Ackleyattack427TV to do exactly that. Hey guys, this is Ackleyattack4427 here. Thank you all so much for watching today's video. Feel free to like, comment, and share if you enjoy what you're seeing. If you like what you see here and want to see more videos coming up, then go ahead and hit that subscribe button and switch on the notification bell to get notifications, and select all notifications to be notified for when we post a new video. And don't forget to switch on notifications on your phone as well. Also, don't forget to check out my second channel and our 2-member channel with Sam the Thomas Fan 1, SamAttack4427 The Thomas Fan 1 Productions, for plenty more content you can't find on here. You can check both of our channels out with the links or by our handles provided on screen. Feel free to shoot me an email with my email address provided, Ackleyattack4427's@hotmail.com, if you want to ask me a question, want to collab with me for a project you've got in the works, or if you want to book me to be featured for a convention coming up. Follow me on my social media pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram to keep up to date with me on updates, announcements, and new releases of my videos, as well as plenty of others I've got with my handles provided, as well as the links down in the description box below. Also, don't forget to follow me on TikTok for other videos I've got aside from the ones I've posted on YouTube, and on Twitch for any future live streams I've got coming up soon, as well as join our official Discord server to see what we've provided. If you wish to show your support to me, then feel free to check out my Patreon to get sneak peeks of my videos coming up before they go up online, as well as getting access to updates and plenty more, in addition to getting some awesome rewards within your budget. Also, don't forget to check out and show your support to me on my wishlist on Amazon, and even supporting me at streamlabs.com/AckleyattackTV/tip that you can find in the description box below, as well as on my Twitch page. And in case you can't find any of the links that are provided, then not to worry about a thing. All the links and stuff are also provided on my link tree that you can also find in the description box below, as well as a few selected number of my social media pages. Other than that, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll be sure to see you in the next video. Take care.